When Stranger Things first began, most fans brushed off Dr. Brenner's ominous words in Season 1 as just another cryptic warning from the man who created Eleven's nightmare. But what if he wasn't exaggerating? What if his talk about taking more sons and daughters wasn't just about those lab experiments, but a prophecy about Vecna's reign of terror years later? As the Upside Down continues to spread its grip on Hawkins, the chance of new people getting sucked into its darkness gets bigger. And this time, one of the most overlooked yet significant targets could be Holly Wheeler, the youngest Wheeler kid who's been hiding in the background since the very start of the series. Brenner may be gone, but his words linger, and with Vecna now free to prey on Hawkins, the stage is set for those words to finally come true. The monster is after vulnerable minds and power, so no kid is truly safe, and in the chaos of Season 5, one name keeps popping up: Holly Wheeler. The youngest member of the Wheeler family has lived on the edge of the Upside Down's horrors for years without ever fully stepping into the story. And who knows, maybe that was the plan all along. If Brenner was right, Holly could be the next daughter Vecna grabs, making her a key player in the final fight. When you think about Holly Wheeler, she's always been quietly present but never actually central, almost like a puzzle piece waiting to be placed in the bigger picture. She's been a background player since the first season, watching all of the chaos of Hawkins unfold from the sidelines while her family, Nancy and Mike, shoulder the weight of the story. That whole innocence and invisibility makes her super vulnerable to Vecna. Unlike her siblings, Holly doesn't have any way to protect herself, she doesn't get the Upside Down, and has no idea that there's danger lurking in her town. But Stranger Things always does this thing where the people who seem the least ready are the ones who get pulled in first, and Holly's totally that. Plus, she's young, which makes her a perfect target for Vecna, who feeds on fear and confusion. We've seen him take characters who were quietly carrying burdens no one else noticed, like Chrissy, Fred, and Patrick, and Holly could easily fall into that same category, quietly holding on to fears or visions that no one in her family takes seriously until it's too late. If the Duffer brothers made the youngest Wheeler a victim, it wouldn't just up the tension, it'd destroy the idea that the most innocent character is safe, showing that Vecna can get anyone, even a kid. If Holly were to fall into Vecna's grasp, the Wheelers would be totally wrecked, especially Mike and Nancy. Mike has always been defined by his role as a protector, first of Will in Season 1, then of Eleven as their relationship grew, and even of his friends as the de facto leader of their group. Losing Holly, his little sister, to the very monster he has been fighting against for years would completely shatter his sense of purpose. He'd feel like he failed to protect his own family. Nancy would be just as crushed, maybe even more. She's still dealing with the guilt from Barb's death, and if Vecna went after Holly, it would be like ripping that scab wide open. Yet this time it wouldn't be a friend or classmate, this would be her little sister, the one person she should have always been able to keep safe. For Nancy, if Holly was taken or hurt, it would make her fight against Vecna super personal, forcing her to face her guilt while fighting for her sister's life. And for Karen and Ted Wheeler, who are usually shown as clueless parents, Holly's danger would finally pull them into the heart of the horror, making the whole family realize that Hawkins' darkness has always been right there. Holly isn't just another potential victim, her fate could be the thing that makes the Wheelers join the final fight, connecting their stories to the end of the series. Holly's innocence makes her more than just another child in Hawkins, she represents something bigger, something untouched by the corruption of the Upside Down that has infected nearly every corner of the town. Let's think about it for a moment. Almost every family in Hawkins has been through hell because of the monsters. Joyce lost Bob and nearly lost Will multiple times, Max is permanently scarred by Vecna's attack, Lucas has watched his friends suffer again and again, and even the Byers as a unit were torn apart by trauma before fleeing Hawkins altogether. But Holly, so far, has been protected, like a clean page, a reminder of the simple, safe life everyone in Hawkins wishes they still had. That pureness is exactly why she's the perfect target for Vecna. If he were to sink his claws into Holly, it wouldn't just be a personal tragedy for the Wheelers, it would represent the loss of Hawkins' last piece of innocence, the final proof that Vecna has corrupted everything and everyone. Vecna going after Holly would be the ultimate power move, not just against the good guys but against Hawkins itself. By taking the one character who has never been drawn into the Upside Down's darkness, Vecna wouldn't just be claiming another victim, he'd be sending a message: no innocence survives his reach. And in this final season, that symbolic hit could be even worse than a physical one, crushing the hope the heroes have fought for. If Vecna were to take Holly, his intentions might go far beyond simply claiming another victim. Unlike Chrissy, Fred, and Patrick, who were consumed by their own hidden traumas, Holly's useful because she could be used against the people trying to stop him. Vecna's good at messing with memories and using guilt, and Holly could be the best trap he's ever set. Think about Nancy or Mike having to go into the Upside Down because they hear Holly's voice, not knowing if it's really her or just Vecna. Worse yet, Vecna could turn Holly into a puppet, placing her small, innocent form under his control the way he did with Max, creating an unbearable moral dilemma for the heroes: fight back and risk harming her, or hesitate and allow Vecna the upper hand. There's also the chilling possibility that Vecna could go even further and attempt to use Holly as a vessel, an empty canvas, so to speak, for his own twisted consciousness. She's young, untouched, and easily influenced, making her the perfect shell for Vecna to mess with or even take over completely, which would keep him alive even if his body gets wrecked. This would make the final fight way more intense, forcing the characters to not just fight Vecna, but also save the soul of an innocent kid who represents everything they're trying to protect. If Holly's involved, the final battle won't just be about beating a monster, it'll be a desperate fight to get back innocence itself before Vecna destroys it for good. Throughout the series, Elle's journey has always been about more than her powers, it's about her responsibility to use them to protect others, a role she inherited because of what Brenner created her to be. She's been carrying the weight of saving Hawkins since she was practically a kid, and she knows what it's like to be a kid who's been stolen and messed with. If Vecna went after Holly, it would hit Elle really hard, making her face her past in the future she's trying to stop for someone else. It'd be like seeing what could have happened if she hadn't gotten away from Brenner. That could spark something new in her, like a whole new level of power and determination she hasn't even used yet. Saving Holly would be more than just winning a fight. It'd be Elle's chance to change her own story and stop kids from being taken, used, and destroyed. So, by making Holly the one in danger, the Duffers could give Eleven the feels to really amp up her powers, not cause she's mad or scared, but cause she loves and wants to protect her. In that sense, Holly becomes more than a victim, she becomes the symbol of what Eleven is truly fighting for, the proof that this war isn't just about survival, but about reclaiming the right to a future where kids can be kids without monsters lurking in the shadows. If Vecna goes after Holly Wheeler, the last untouched child of Hawkins, can the gang protect her and finally break the cycle, or will she become evil and let Vecna win? If you enjoyed this theory, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives with us on Strangers Freaks.